Welcome to the Dan Sports Tips Daily Fantasy Sports video for the Major League Baseball card today. Welcome to the show. I'm going to explain a little bit about my strategies before I start for Daily Fantasy Sports. I don't like to invest a lot of money at the catcher position because I don't feel it represents value, because you get less steals and less general opportunities, and it's very much a sort of boom or bust position, and I don't think, if you're spending your money there, that you're getting that much of an advantage over your opponents. What I do like to look for is hitters at the top of the lineup. Your lead-off hitter, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the lineup, because by nature they get more opportunities to score you points, because they're going to get more at bats as the lineup recycles as we go round. I hope you enjoy this show. Please do subscribe to my channel, like the video if you found it helpful. What I like to do each day is run through the sort of foundation players that you like to build the foundation of your lineups on, and I like to look for some value players at each position as well. I won't be providing a foundation player at catcher, as I say, because I don't like to invest the top end money in that position. I hope you enjoy the show. Please hit me up in the comments with any feedback that you have, and let's get on to today's action. Right, firstly off, welcome to the show. I am going to change the format of the show a little bit today. I'm going to introduce a couple of new sections. I'm not going to review yesterday what we did, because I'm sort of turning the page and bringing a new format in today. I'm going to make pitches a separate section, and I'm also going to look at stack of the day, how you might want to stack your lineup with certain lineups to try and maximise your points potential. I'm going to start with the stacks of the day, so here we go. Okay, there were two that I looked at for stack of the day today. San Diego. Will Myers at first base and Matt Kemp in the outfield. Myers, I think, qualifies in the outfield as well. They are 5,200 for Kemp, 4,900 for Myers. It's a great matchup in Colorado. They're both right-handers against a left-handed pitcher who has had some issues with the San Diego lineup. They hit in the 3 and 4 spots. Kemp in particular has had excellent success against De La Rosa. I think that could be a good way to start with your lineups and maximise potential. The other one I've looked at is Jose Bautista for 4,600 in the outfield, and Edwin Encarnacion at first base for 4,600 against Rick Porcello of Boston today. These are the heart and soul, along with Donaldson, who you could add in if you wanted to, but you're starting to get very expensive then and putting a strain on the rest of your lineup. I thought the Bautista Encarnacion 3-4 hitters for Toronto today were an excellent stack. I couldn't put you off maybe an Altuve and Correa stack for Houston as well, but I didn't want to put that up because I wanted to use them in your foundation players, to be perfectly honest. So I'll move on to the starting pitchers. Obviously, the premium starting pitcher matchup today is Clay Kershaw and Madison Bumgarner, the Dodgers and Giants game. Kershaw's 14,200, the most expensive pitcher on the slate. Bumgarner's 11,600. I don't want to use either of those because I do value the points for the win as well. Obviously Kershaw in particular is a strikeout machine, but excuse me, Bumgarner has won more than he has lost against Kershaw and the Dodgers when the two have met. So I think Chris Sale for 12,100 is the premium option as a pitcher today. It's going to be chilly in Chicago today, so there's less home run potential, and we know that Chris Sale is a massive strikeout pitcher as well. So I think your best bet is to stick Sale in for 1,200. At the lower end of pitchers, I'd be willing to take a chance on Doug Fister at 5,800, but you might be selling out on your strikeout potential there as Fister makes his first start. However, it's Vince Velasquez, I think, that for the Phillies against the Mets. He's 6,800. He averages more than a strikeout per inning, and obviously strikeouts are massively important if you're looking for value because they boost your points total so much. Onto the foundation players, the teams that should the players that should really be the foundation of your daily fantasy lineups on Draftkings today. At first base, I've gone for Big Puppy David Ortiz. He's 4,500. He's got 3 career home runs off Dickey, so he clearly hasn't struggled to pick the knuckleball like some players do. He's 3 for 13 this year. 2 of those hits are home runs, and it's a nice park in Toronto to hit the ball out a long way. Puppy could be a good play today at first base. At second base, I've gone with Jose Altuve, which is predictable as ever. Look, it's not rocket science, the foundation players. It's just trying to identify who are the players that you should be paying the big money for. Altuve's 5,500 today. He's facing Willie Peralta, who is far from a good starting pitcher. He's in a great hitter's park in Milwaukee, and you get the hits and the steals for the player that led the American League in those categories last year. Altuve's just money. He's going to score you points. Third base, I really struggled today to find players. Adrian Beltre in Texas, 4,000, was where I ended up plumping for. He's got 2 home runs off Garrett Richards. It's a nice matchup with the right-handed hitter on the left-handed pitcher. Texas is a great park to hit in. I had question marks over all of the sort of top dollar players, your Donaldsons, your Chris Bryants, players like that. And I thought Beltre for 4,000 was probably the most reasonable bet for consistent production at third base, and particularly for 4,000, I thought it wasn't bad money. At shortstop, I'm going to continue going back to the well with Carlos Correa of Houston, 5,100. He's hitting .412 with 3 home runs and 2 steals this year. He is the elite option at shortstop for your lineups. I did consider Troy Tulowitzki as well. Wouldn't argue with you at all if you put him in your stack with Batista and Encarnacion as well in Toronto. But again, Tulo's not cheap, so I tend to shy away from using 3 premium players. I'd probably use someone more like Kevin Pillar in that matchup. In the outfield, there's only one option for the premium ones today, and I'm amazed that he's not going to set you back more than 5,000. Bryce Harper for Washington against Miami, 4,900 when you consider the cost of some of the other outfielders out there today, like Matt Kemp, who's 5,200. I know he's hitting in calls, but Bryce Harper is facing a pitcher who he has made hay off of. 5 home runs off of Tom Kohler for his career. Kohler struggles in Washington. Harper doesn't struggle to hit him. Bryce Harper for 4,900. You must have him in your lineup today. On to the value players. Obviously, I only included catcher at value. Matt Wieters, 3,400 for Baltimore. He's 2 for 5 off of Drew Smyly. It's a nice matchup with the left-handed pitcher, the right-handed hitter, and you're in a hitter's ballpark in Baltimore. I think Wieters at 3,400 is not a bad play. At first base, I've gone with Ryan Zimmerman of Washington. He's 3,700. He has 2 career home runs off of Kohler, and is hitting 300 in 20 at-bats against him, and he's hitting 333 so far this year. So there's no reason to expect Zimmerman not to get a few hits for you today, and maybe stick one over the wall as well. At second base, Brandon Phillips in Cincinnati. He's 3,300. Obviously, Gerrit Cole does struggle in Cincinnati. Brandon Phillips has hit 429 in his career off of Gerrit Cole, and I just felt that he was a reasonable option for value at second base today. At third base, again, this was the hardest position for me today. I've gone with Tyler White of Houston. He's 3,400. As I said when I was talking about Altuve and Correa, I think Peralta is a suspect starting pitcher, and Tyler White's a man who's hitting 692 with 2 home runs this year. A repeat of that, happy days. At shortstop, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. It's questionable whether or not this counts as a value play. Trevor Story, Colorado, 3,900. When you consider that that's a full $1,200 cheaper than Carlos Correa, he's facing Drew Pomeranz in Coors, has got the hottest bat in the game. That looks a little bit on the cheap side to me. It looks value, and that's why I've included him in value players. And finally, in the outfield, I'm going back to Colby Rasmus today of Houston. He's 3,600. He gets a right-handed pitcher on the hill again who can give up the long ball. And Colby Rasmus hit 25 last year. He's in a good park to start off this year. That's my take on today's Daily Fantasy. please do follow me on Twitter and subscribe to my channel. Who do you like today? Tell me in the comments. Best of luck with your lineups. I'll see you tomorrow.